How's it going, everybody? Welcome, friends. Welcome, neighbors. Welcome, all people. Welcome, stinkies. Welcome, pitos. What's up? So, quick little life update, I guess. Things are hard in the world. That's no, that's no surprise to anybody. Everyone knows this. Things are difficult in the world. Be nice to each other. Have conversations. Try to have meaningful conversations. Don't close your mind off just because you think your way is correct. There's multiple correct ways. There's no actual correct way to do anything in the world. It's just opinions and people following what they think is best. So don't attack people. Be nice to each other. Give people a hug. But not right now because it's quarantine time and the corona's still a thing. Please wear your masks. Yeah, be responsible. Stuff like that. Personal life update. I am moving out very soon. I'm going back to my parents' house in Littleton for a little bit. Save up some money. I will still be streaming a lot. They're starting to be more understanding of how important streaming is to me and how much I really want to be a content creator. I really want to put a lot of work into being a content creator. That's what I'm going to do most of the summer. Just putting things out, streaming a lot, doing a bunch of stuff. And when crossplay comes in fall for Apex, I really, really want to. That's when I'm really going to kick it into overdrive and really start competing. Um, because right now it's kind of just me and Atomic. We don't really have a third teammate. So yeah, we'll kind of see how things go from there. But without further ado, I want to start making some videos. So I want to make first video I want to start making is I want to do a season 5 gun and legend tier list, based off what I've been seeing in scrims and ALGs competitive, like the TSM Invitational that happened recently. Shoutouts to Nicewig and his team for taking that ALG landslide by they sweep the competition and not even close. But Nicewig's a really big inspiration to me as a controller player, as just a cool dude. See, I want to put out kind of not entirely opinionated. I will have my opinion in a couple spots, which is where I'll speak to it. But also just like a definitive tier list for like competitive play, for scrim play, for like PC predator play. Honestly, this list doesn't mean jack shit to you if you're on console. No offense to console players, but like Predator on console compared to PC isn't the same. Just because all the actual like pros and streamers are on PC. So like I don't know. This probably applies to Predator for console too, but it might be a little different. If you're just playing like pubs and just playing limited time modes and stuff, play whoever you want, main whoever you want. I don't care. You shouldn't care about my ranking for this stuff. But when it comes down to like team play, the best layouts, team loadouts, everything like that for competitive specifically, those ALGs, the scrims, those invitationals, all stuff like that. This is what these tier lists are about. I'm gonna start with legends, and then I'll go to guns. The guns one is I don't know, it's kind of awkward because the guns are very balanced in a way, and it makes a lot of sense which ones are the good guns and which ones are the bad guns. Good gun, bad gun. But we're gonna do legends first. Do I want to start from the bottom or the top? I will start from the bottom. I think it makes it more entertaining to start from the bottom going to the top because the top usually where the best are, so it's kind of more entertaining to see the build up. Like, oh, who's the good, and kind of just get the bad out of the way. I'm gonna leave it as this ranking for now. I think it is. Let's see. I did make this list already. I do think it's 5 separate tiers. But I don't think it's actually D tier. I think the last tier is like C or something. So I'll probably change that around. We'll see. We'll see what I do. I think I'll do this. I'll do B plus, B, and then C. I like that. Let's change these colors around too, because I could make it look a little bit more diversified, and not just the same, yellow twice. All right, so let's start at the bottom, C. C is where I think my opinions come in the most. Mainly just the ordering of things. I think most people can agree on the 4 legends who are kind of the C tiers. I think there's 4 of them in here. I think there's 3 in B, 2 in B+, 3 in A, and 1 in S. There could be one character could totally be like up here. I might actually make a C+. I'll do that. Let me make a C+. Add a row above. Make you a darker blue. Let's make it purple. Why not? Let's make it a rainbow. Let's make it a pretty little rainbow. Better. C+. That color's better. Okay, yeah, I think I'll do this. So I already made this on my phone, so I don't really think I'll be like scrambling too much on what I'm thinking about. But so I'm going to, for C tier, I'm going to put 3 characters in there, and I'm just gonna put them all in there. Just Bangalore, Mirage, Octane, and this is the personal order of mine. Now, in reality, probably Bangalore is the best of these characters, but I'll kind of talk on my opinions for that. So I'll talk about Octane first. Octane got a huge rework to his ultimate, where he gets that double jump to the jump pad, and that helps him out a lot, because the issue with Octane is the fact that when you're going off jump pad, there's no reason you couldn't just get lasered down by somebody who is just like tracking you with like an R301 or an R99 or just sniping out of the air. Like it's not hard. It was not hard to shoot an Octane or hit anybody off a jump pad. Now the double jump really does get you a lot more distance, so it's more worthwhile to use as like a rotation tool, a getaway tool, and it makes it a little bit harder to shoot. Still, like you still get lasered, but they made a big change to zip lines where you can no longer zipline hop. You can get max 3 jumps on a zipline, I think. It's the 3rd jump you can barely grab, and if you jump one more time, you just go fall off pretty much. So you effectively get 2 jumps on a zipline, and that's nothing. You're going to get lasered on a zipline, maybe even more than a jump pad. So, it's kind of that's one of the big nerfs to Pathfinder. They've just been relentless on Pathfinder. But I think that's kind of an indirect buff to jump pads, making jump pads more worth it in a sense for just complete map rotation. Mirage, another character who got really big rework at the beginning of season 5. He was like D tier, like he would be like all the way down here before. His abilities now actually do something more, but he's still just the most selfish character in the game, meaning he doesn't really give anything to the team. Now, so his decoys, you can control them now, so it's a little bit better for, bamboozling people, finding their location. It's okay, but like there's so much better ways to just find their location by, literally just pushing the Q button and just scanning them, or just flying a drone around and being able to see them very clearly, and doing other things on top of that. But decoys can be kind of fun. I think these characters are all super fun. I think Octane is, like, in my opinion, probably the most fun character to play right now. But the decoys, like, while they're fun, while they can be nice to use and kind of like silly to use, it's just not like ooh, bash me. It's not like it's gonna do anything really for your team. It's not like it's gonna like save you in the end. It's kind of just like, got him. His ultimate is really trippy in fights, and you can use it well to get away. But like, again, it's really only you. Like if you're gonna play like solos, if solos mode came back, Mirage would be like here. Honestly, he'd be like here, because he just plays so well for himself. But the fact that he doesn't do like anything for his team, I can't put him any higher than like a bottom 2 character, because even I could even put him at the worst, but I think his abilities are at least like effective, so that I don't think he's like the worst character. I do think overall his abilities are better than these 2, better than Bangalore, which is why I think she's at the bottom. I think Octane's, he gives a little bit of teamwork. He's also pretty selfish, but these 2 are just kind of selfish characters. But Octane can do a little bit for the team, and their own abilities are good. I think solos, they're both like up here-ish. But solos is in the game. This is in the solo game. Now, I put Bangalore down here because, not that she's a bad character. C is not a bad character. C is like compatible, good, you know, like reliable. Like if you have one of these on your team, you're not like screwed. Unlike Mirage before, even Octane before, if you had one on your team in like serious play, you were just fucked. Like that was it. That could literally just lose you the game because you have a effectively worthless character. For the team, I think these three are just kind of worthless compared to like all these other down here. But I mean, now they're at least in a position where like you can survive. It's just not good. Bangalore's abilities though, I just think are just so underwhelming. I think her passive is great. That like what is it? What is her passive called? I'm gonna read these off. I'm a fool. I just wanted to get some cool looking backgrounds to Google, but I don't actually get Google, so whatever. What is it called? Passive double time. That's what it is. Double time. Cool. Double time is a good ability. She's getting shot at. She gets to move really fast. It can help with like running away, sprinting in and out, especially with their gas or their smoke. That's kind of the only ability I think is good. Smoke is so underwhelming, especially with Krypto and Bloodhound being more prominent now and being more common. Her smoke just really doesn't hide you anymore. And there's digi-threats all over the place. Digi-threat is you'll have a digi-threat every game pretty much. They're everywhere. They're literally everywhere. So her smoke just doesn't really give you like actual cover. I mean, it blocks their view, but there's also nothing stopping you from like throwing grenades in there and just like shooting into the smoke. Or just what I do is I just literally just run in there because they're dropping smoke to try to like heal or something. I just run in there and find them, start spraying if I can. Just like, just you don't have to respect smoke. You really don't. You don't. There's no reason you have to give it smoke any respect. Though they can't see, you can't see them. They can't see you though. So like, I mean, as long as you didn't see them leave the smoke, they're in that vicinity. Just start throwing stuff in there. She's by far the most overshadowed character too. By Caustic with the whole like smoke gas. His gas is so much more effective than smoke because there's a reason to actually not go near it. And everything she wants to do, Gibby does just better. A dome shield is actual cover, while smoke doesn't really do anything. And her ultimate is just so lackluster. I personally think it's the worst ultimate in the game. It can be used to reposition because you're scaring a team away, but like the team can also just kind of run through it. It's not like it's gonna do any damage, which is what it's supposed to do. Like if you're hitting people with Bangalore's ultimate, you're getting lucky, and I don't mean that as like an offense to any Bangalore players. Her ultimate is just like you see it drop, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna go over here, and they're like, okay, now I can escape, but like, I mean, I could also just like chase you for the ultimate. The ultimate it just doesn't really do anything. Like it really just doesn't do anything. I just don't think any of her abilities really do anything. They are team centric, so like that's good. That's why I don't put her in D. She's got a good hitbox. Her passive is okay. Her passive's great. Her passive's great. I'll say that. Double time is great, but like smoke launcher really doesn't do much at all. And her ultimate, offensive, rolling thunder, I guess. The rolling thunder ultimate just doesn't really do anything. She's great for newcomers though. I think she's a great like starting off character. I think all these characters are really easy. I think Mirage has like there's a lot you can learn to do with Mirage and his decoys and stuff, but like they're all just kind of too simple for their own good. And they just don't give enough to the team that any of these characters can't give them. So that's why I'm gonna put those three in C. C plus I put Loba. I love Loba. She's a lot of fun, but as a solo, her ring is too slow. Like the ring is a solo centered ability. Like as it's just focused on her. It's not gonna really do anything for your team, but it's a great like repositioning tool and mobility tool. But it's so slow because you have the animation of taking the ring off, and then you throw it, and then you sit there and wait for it to land. And then once it lands, once you teleport, you have to grab the bracelet and put it back on. And there's just so much downtime basically. She needs some buffs to that. She needs the animation to be shortened, like what they did with Krypto. They buffed Krypto's. You pull out his drone a lot faster. They just like hit fast forward with it. I think they should do the same thing with Loba, or cut out some of the animations, or maybe you can like act out of the animations or something like that. You need to be able to sprint around while you're waiting for the ring. I don't think you need to be able to fire, but you need to be able to like at least sprint so you can like avoid people. Because you literally just like you stuck walking, so like you kind of just like sit there. You can't even like really slide down a hill. I mean, sliding down a hill is like the only thing you can do. But like, all right, if you're not on a hill, you're just dead. You're pretty much just like dead, waiting for. I mean, unless they don't push you. But like, if you see a Loba ringing out, you can pretty much just like either push where she is or just go push to where she's going because she's gonna get caught in some animation. You just get to spray her down. It's again, it's a really good like ability in theory, but it's just too slow for its own good. Her passive, being able to see purple loot and stuff, I think is nice. You can see like while you're kind of passing by if areas are more worth it, especially like after you've been looted up. You can kind of see if there's like some things that are worth it. As you play her more, you can start getting used to what a purple shield and what a phoenix hit look like, even though they look like the exact same thing. I've used her passive to grab a purple shield off drop and ended up getting a squad wipe just because I had a purple shield and they had either no shield or a white shield. So it's nice. It's a nice little passive ability. Excuse my stuffiness. Allergies are kicking my ass right now. And her ultimate is great. Her ultimate, the Black Market Boutique, is she puts down the ultimate and you get to grab 2 items from it. It has about 90 HP. It takes up a big space. It does give a kind of like a big pulse out so people know Loba's there, but like it's really good for just stealing loot from people after they did a fight, especially like in the end ring. If you really don't have a good shield, if you still have blue shields, drop her ultimate, wait for the fight to end, yoink that red Evo shield, yoink that gold purple shield. You know, it really helps the team loot up faster. It can help you loot an area faster while you're rotating, so you don't have to like run around the whole thing. You can just place it down, grab a couple things. You can even see if it's even worth looting. If like you can see the loot around, you can see if there's a select fire for your prowler or not. If you just need to move by. It's just super nice. It's super really good team oriented, but I think there's just better characters out there. Like the ability's great. The abilities are all like great, but they just have their issues. Mainly her ring. I think her ring is the big issue. I think if they made that a lot faster, she could instantly jump up to like here. Because she'd be really good at repositioning and stuff like that. Like really good at repositioning, getting out of fights, getting into fights, using the ultimate. She's great. She's a great character, but she's just, I think, compared to the rest, underwhelming. The only reason I put her in a separate tier is because her abilities are unique enough. Like no one else really does what she does. So moving on to B tier, I'm gonna put 3 characters here who are all really good. Bloodhound, Lifeline, and Revenant. Revenant, in all honesty, is like here. But I have B+ tier for something specific. So this is actually okay. This is the spot where I get kind of weirded out. B tier. I think these 3 characters are really good. I think Lifeline and Revenant specifically are really good. Like they should definitely be B+ tier. B+ is reserved for 2 characters who have one niche gimmick that lets them be competitive. These 3 are like on the cusp of competitive. I think there'll be a couple. Revenant's the one that I think there will be a couple of specifically, but I mean just right now, so far there hasn't been a ton of them. More just like in like Predator ranked games, but like in Scrim specifically, there hasn't been a lot of Revenant yet. Just yet, I mean, there's not a lot to go off of. He's definitely, I think he's like the wild card in a sense. I think he's the one that's gonna move around. I'm probably gonna be wrong about him, but Bloodhound just gives a quick, really effective scan to give information. You can track down rats. You can see where people are. It lasts for a long time, so it really helps you kind of like corner peek people, kind of turn the corner and peek them. Ultimate's really nice for just being faster and good for sniping and stuff like that. Being infrared, it's just easier to see people. there are legit some moments where you just like can't see people, like they're hiding in a bush or something. Scan just kind of invalidates people hiding. It he's one of the more anti-camp characters in the game, which is I think is really cool. Bloodhound, also I say I say he and she kind of on accident. Technically they, it's just a mystery of what Bloodhound is, who Bloodhound really is, their personality, stuff like that. So don't get triggered by me saying he, she, whatever. I'm just speaking. I'm not attacking it. If you're getting you know whatever by it, don't shouldn't be whatever. Yeah, Bloodhound abilities are just like good. They're not like the most team oriented, but like the scan specifically is very team oriented. The ultimate's really just for Bloodhound to be better at like fighting. And the tracking is good. It's good for the team too. Just knowing where if people have been here, following somebody if they're running away, finding a rat, stuff like that. Just very very effective like scan tracking character. Can be really good at chasing characters like Wraith, Pathfinder, and Octane down when they're trying to run away too, because you just pop the ultimate and you're moving pretty much just as fast as them. Lifeline is super team oriented. She is only team oriented now, which she had a big change. They took away her fast heals, but they gave her the ability to revive 2 people at once with her Doc drone, which still puts up the shield. And that thing is so ridiculously good. Her health drone does come out. It's a 45-second cooldown instead of a minute, so that's a nice little buff. The care package now has more heals in it, better quality like heals in it. So if you get like shield cells, you get like 6 shield cells instead of like 2. That's a lot more worth it. She's super supportive. That setting, when someone gets knocked down, you make sure she has a gold backpack. You make sure that Lifeline has a gold backpack. You stupid Octanes, you stupid TTV race. Don't pick up the gold backpack. You give it to Lifeline. She picks you up with the drone. That shield is out. She can fight. You can use that drone for like a little bit of a wall for a second while they're recovering and stuff like that. She can give backup fire while you're healing up. She can literally defend you. She's such a good team player. The only reason I don't know if she'll be used in competitive really, and haven't seen her used in competitive. She's used a lot in like ranked and Predator. Like there's a lot of streamers and people who play her. She's really effective. She's a good team player. She's fun. She can be used pretty aggressively. But like when it comes down to like competitive and scrims, she's really not used. And I'm not sure if she still will be. Mainly because there's better defensive units that are more attuned to stopping you from getting down rather than helping you when you get knocked down, which is the whole Lifeline thing. She's the picker upper. When you get knocked down, she's there to help you out. But the other defensive characters, Caustic, Gibby, and Watson, are all there to pretty much ensure that you don't get knocked down. And they've got other ways to get you up, so it's not like her health drone or her doc drone is the only way to pick you up in like a heated moment. No, you can dome shield and get people up fast. You can gas them. You can get in your fenced fortress, stuff like that. So there's other characters who can kind of do what she wants to do. She now is for sure the best reviver, but that's my whole thing. That's why I don't think she's really used in competitive. Like that's why she's not like up here, just because the other defensive characters can kind of cover for her and just help you not get knocked down, while she is the one to help you when you're knocked down. Revenant is the counterpick character. He is the character that says fuck you to every single legend in the game. His silence now stops the health drone from coming out. I think it stops health drone while it's out. It stops the Doc revive, which is really crazy. It stops Mirage decoys. It stops him also while like he's trying to revive. If he's silenced, he can't revive invisible. He stops Octane from being able to stim, stops Loba from being able to ring out, stops Bloodhound from able to hit his ultimate or scan, stops Bangalore from using double time, stops gun shield from coming out, stops more traps from coming out, can stop Pathfinder and Wraith mid grapple, mid phase, like rather while they're trying to while Wraith is starting to start up her while Wraith is starting up her phase. That was difficult. Words are difficult. He can stop her in the middle of it so she cannot phase. He can stop Pathfinder mid grapple. Mid grapple, if you snipe a Pathfinder, he's gonna fall right there. His silence shuts down every character's abilities and makes them a shell. Makes them just like just the size of the character. That's all it is. That's all they are at that point. And he's got 2, and they can be used defensively. You know, you can put it on a doorway or something, so people have to like run and get hit by it if they're trying to come in. So he can, you know, heal up for something. He can also use it aggressively and try to snipe at people, deal some more damage. I've seen a lot of players like Fun FPS, specifically a Revenant, who's used his silent to, you know, he uses silence to like while he's pushing on people for damage specifically. He damages them and also gets rid of their abilities, so he can just shred them no problem, pretty much. He's pretty versatile with just like silence alone. And then there's Death Totem, which they removed the range on Death Totem, and it's so good now. It's so good now. For an example, me and my team, one game, dropped Death Totem by a jump tower at the map room. We hit the Death Totem, and we took the jump tower to that little overlook, that little like part that hangs over the cliff, that overlook. We jumped on them and our Death Totem, bursted them up. If we got sent back, we were sent back like 2 miles away from danger. If we weren't sent back, you know, we were just wrecking them, destroying them. It was so easy to poke. It was so easy to poke. We ended up destroying the team just because like we came out of nowhere as zombies. There was no risk reward for it. There was no risk to the reward. It was just reward. It's a lot of pros are complaining about Revenant right now, just the fact that, you know, you can go into Death Totem and you can just run at people. You can just Death Totem and portal into fights. Death Totem zipline over there. Death Totem jump tower. Death Totem Revenant paired with like Pathfinder, Wraith, even Octane, you know, to get in there and to get in the fight is ridiculous. You can use the Death Totem to go loot a box too. That's what we've used Death Totem after I got revived to go loot a box, grab the purple shield, and then I got sent back. And I was okay. You know, I was fine. I got the purple shield. I didn't die for it. So you can safely loot. It just takes a lot of risk, from a lot of interactions. You can just go third party a team. If it's really bad and you get sent back, you don't have to do it. If you did a lot of damage, you can go back in. You've got your full shields. You've got 50%. You got 50 HP. Paired with Lifeline, as soon as you get sent back, the health drone's there to heal you up. You just go in. If you have gold shield, 1 syringe, you're all ready to go. He's just such a safe character. He shuts down so many characters. He's really, really good now. He's really scary. You really have to have to deal with Revenant first, I think, out of all characters. If you see a Revenant on the team, you want to get him out of there first. And you want to destroy the Death Totem first, if you can. He is a scary son of a bitch. He's definitely up here. Not S, but he's definitely like somewhere up here. We'll have to see how pros use him in pro play, like in scrims and stuff like that. If he's used, they actually might opt out of it. I'm not really sure. It depends on how good some other characters are, and if there's room for him to kind of poke in the mix. But he's really scary. I think I honestly want to put him. I want to put him in his own tier. I'll put him in a wild card tier. Actually, I think I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna call it the wild card, because I'm not really sure. It's kind of we're gonna have to see. He definitely has like the ability to just be really scary though. I'm just gonna put him here. B plus is gonna be the gimmick tier, and the gimmick tier is Pathfinder and Krypto. Now, Krypto and Pathfinder have pretty good hits on their own. Grapple, you know, you can reposition to great. You can you can reposition and chase people and move around really well. Has a really long cooldown, which just sucks. It just sucks. I think they need to fix that. And the zip lines to help your team reposition. Even though zip lines are so, you know, you're just gonna get shot down if you're on a zip line. But if people aren't there, you can still take the high ground. It's still effective. It's still like good overall, even though it's just much much worse than he used to be. He used to be like here. He's gradually fallen down from S to like I think he's kind of here now. The and only reason he is used in competitive right now is because his passive, he can scan the survey beacons and he can find the final ring. He can find what the next ring is going to be. That is so vital to pro play, getting a good rotation, getting down that next house, especially because Watson has been the like most used, the character that's like on every team, pretty much one of the most necessary characters. Wraith and Watson have been on every team. They've been the most necessary characters for so long. So you've used Pathfinder to scan the server beacon, find where the next ring is. You use Wraith to get into like a house or get into an area, and Watson bunkers that down, and you hold that. And that's really why he's been used during these nerfs. That's the only reason he's still going to be used is because it's just crucial to a lot of it's really important to know where to go in competitive. You don't want to be running around in like competitive pro play where placing is so important to points and stuff like that. That's really it. I mean, the rest of his kit. I think if the rest of his kit was like awful, like down here awful, he wouldn't be used. Or he'd be used by like a couple people. But it's the fact that like his kit overall still is pretty good. It's still like helpful to the team, and just that Survey Beacon is so big for him. Krypto is a character who, I think ability wise, is more down here, but he is a counterpick to someone who's very important to the meta, Watson. Spoilers, Watson's very important to the meta. I mean, it's pretty obvious these 4 characters are up here. Krypto's EMP not only breaks all fences, now it breaks Watson's ultimate. While her ultimate does have a timer on it, it just like it breaks it immediately, so you can just shut down everything that Watson has, push in there, pair up with the Revenant, push it in there, just go crazy, portal in there with a Wraith. Shuts down a lot. His drone can scan people and kind of give away their location, and it can be helpful if you're like in the middle of caustic gas and stuff like that. EMP also does like not break shield. It does 50 damage to shield and slows him a little bit. So he's good for pushing. He's actually kind of like a passive aggressive character. You can see if there's people nearby, fly around, kind of see what things are looking like without putting yourself in danger. If you shoot down his drone, his entire kit is gone though. Like when his drone breaks, his entire kit is gone, and it's like he's been silenced. Which is funny because he's like actually probably the only character that doesn't really care to be silenced, because if your drone's destroyed and you get silenced, like it's not like you have anything to use anyways. So his abilities are overall like they're all right. I think he's just way too slow for this game specifically. But the fact that he can destroy Watson ults and you can now like actually push in on a Watson is why he's gonna be used a little bit. And yeah, I think also just to, like you can kind of use him instead of Pathfinder. And if you don't want to use the survey beacon, you can kind of use Krypto to see if enemies are nearby to kind of see the area. So you obviously not like rotating to the next ring early because you don't know where the next ring is, but you can use experience to kind of start figuring out where the ring is. You can scan around, view around, see if anyone's there. So yeah, that's kind of their gimmicks. His is really just to be able to EMP Watson specifically, which is why I think he's not as. That's why I put Pathfinder in front of him. And Pathfinder's really just because of the survey beacon at this point. Like that's really the only reason he's used. Krypto's kind of here. I think Revenant might actually end up being here. The only reason I don't put him here is because I think these two are B+ is literally just a niche tier. They have like one niche ability that puts them. I think overall, like all abilities put together, I think Revenant, Lifeline, and Bloodhound are better than these two. Maybe not Pathfinder. He's still like pretty good, but that's why I don't put Revenant here. That's why I gotta put him wild card. He's an interesting one. A tier is the defensive tier. It is these 3 characters who are the defensive characters. And team composition, right now, how it looks like is you need at least one of them. Wraiths and S tier, I'm just going to put that, like, that's, yeah. I'll talk about that. That's obvious. You saw that coming. You saw this coming. I mean, there's only one character left down here, so, like, who else is going into S tier? Watson very well might be S tier still. But for now, I think she's A tier. The best A tier, the second best character in the game. Gibby, Kasich, Watson. They're all defensive characters. Gibby is more centered around holding down like cover and just giving you, or like holding down open space and kind of giving you cover. Like say you're holding a roof that doesn't have a lot of cover and people are bombarding you or throwing stuff at you or try to shoot you. You can put dome shield out for a bit, kind of protect you, pick people up. You're rotating around and you really need some cover in an open field. That's where dome shield really comes in handy. Especially with like a Wraith, you can set the dome shield down. Wraith can portal out of there and get you somewhere safe. So he's the defensive kind of taking over the open space. He's definitely the more defensive, like mobile, the more mobility defensive wise. He's kind of a moving tank with his dome shield because you kind of move your dome shield around. Like again, it's for like rotating and taking open space. So he's kind of, I think he's like very different from these two in the way he's defensive. So he definitely pairs with them to really, be safe for the team. He pairs really well with Wraith too. His bombardment can scare people away and also just like rain down death and do so much damage on people, especially in Final Ring. His gun shield, he's got a white shield on top of his fortified health, so he's got a stupid amount of health, so he's hard to take down. I think just like Revenant, you really want to take down Gibby first if you can in the team. He's also now the only character that has fast heal of any sort, and your whole team has fast heal, even though they slowed down a little bit, has fast heal inside of the dome shield, and he picks people up faster. So again, he's like that completely for the team. Dome shield literally does it still in a way does everything Lifeline does for the team. I think Lifeline alone does their abilities better, but you can replicate a lot of things with Dome Shield, and that's why he's just so effective. He's a protector. He's a protective tank. He is literally the shield. He is the shield of the team. He can scare people out. He can get people off high ground with his ultimate too, which can be really really good. I think he's here just because I think these two are a little bit more interchangeable, and I think Gas is really fucking annoying. So next is Caustic, obviously. Gas is so annoying. You get slowed down as you're getting stung by the gas. It ticks you. It starts ripping away at your health, like absolutely ripping away at your health. If there's like if there's like 2 gas traps in his ultimate, you're just like your health is just like going, as if you're getting. It feels like a thermite, or even worse at some points. The gas range is huge. Teammates have no issue going into gas. They can't see, but like same thing with Smoke. Same thing with like Bloodhound and Krypto. Like you can just kind of use their abilities. You can use a Digi threat. You can also just like go in because they can't see you either. His gas is just like you can't mess with it. You cannot mess with this gas. They did give him a little bit of a nerf where if when he throws out a gas trap and the barrel's still inflating, if you shoot it down, it'll get deflated. But that's also a short amount of time you have to actually stop the barrel. And mid-fight, you're probably more focused on the caustic than his gas traps. And if the barrel's already there, there's nothing you can do. So the gas has no repercussions. The gas is so difficult and annoying to deal with. It's just so deadly. He's such a deadly character. His ultimate, you can trap people in a house and just chuck his ultimate there. They can't get out. They just get fried to death. He's literally the evil character. Like these two are the evil characters that like you just can't do anything about sometimes. There's really no counterplay to gas, which is annoying. I really wish Krypto EMP would shut down all gas too. I really wish you could shoot the gas traps while they're going off to deflate them or something. Like shoot the barrel, the bottom of the barrel to deflate them while they're going off. Decrease the range of the gas traps, decrease the damage they do, something. He's definitely the most toxic character. I hate Kasich so much. He's so fucking frustrating. But he's really good. He's really, really good. And he's just like, he's that defensive hold down a house. You don't want to push me. You don't want to push a Caustic. Let's say you're sniping the absolute hell out of a team. They duck behind cover, but then Caustic has all of his stuff out. He has his ultimate out. He has all that gas traps. You don't want to mess with him. You don't, because you could just die. He is the easiest to squad. He's the easiest character to squad wipe with, without a doubt. The easiest character to squad wipe with. He just like has no counterplay. The only reason he's not any higher, like I think he definitely could potentially be S tier if Watson just like didn't exist, because Watson is a little bit more beneficial to the team. He's a little bit more selfish than Watson is. Where Watson has her fences, which just like hold down a house. You don't want to cross the fence. If you cross the fence, you're dumb. You're an idiot. You take a lot of damage. You get slowed down. It's so easy to like, while someone's crossing your fence, to reload your gun, pre-aim their head, and start shooting them with Watson. She's a small hitbox too, which definitely helps out. So she's a little bit harder to hit, but low profile I think is more of an issue to have than it is to be small. Just because of the amount of damage you take being low profile and getting shot in the legs, which sucks. Please revert that change. But yeah, the fences, you really don't want to cross the fences. She can do such an art project in a house. She can create such an art project with the ridiculous amount of fences she can just put out. They're crazy. We know Watson. We all know Watson. In like pubs, she's really not that fun of a character, so you'd never really see her in pubs. But when you get to high competitive, high level play, she's everywhere, and it's because she just controls the pacing of the game. Her ultimate stops grenades. Now it's only out for 90 seconds, but you can put 3 out. So like, who cares? You can actually cover a whole house from grenades and stuff, and they heal your shields. So she protects the team from grenades and bombardment, and his ultimate from coming out. Like if he's trying to throw his gas cloud, it can get zapped. It used to zap Loba's ring. It doesn't do that anymore, but it used to. Zaps the grenades, zaps his ultimate, which is huge, and can really save your ass in the final ring when his ultimate's coming down and his ultimate's coming down. Also, she can now stack ultimate accelerants by 2, so she can carry 2 ultimate accelerants in a spot of 1. So that's just, good. And she gets an ultimate accelerant immediately, so it's really easy to get all 3 ultimates out there at once. They nerfed her a little bit, and now, I mean, Krypto can breach her, but like he's really the only character that can like breach her defenses. And it's not like he's like the best character anyways. He's carried by a niche, and he really only affects her. So like Watson's still the same. If anything, like her short term defense, like for that 90 seconds, trying to get in on a Watson house is so difficult with 3 pylons out there. Like, you gotta be kidding me. With that much range, take a little house, take a big house. It's just you cover everything. You can cover everything with Watson now. The only reason she's not S is because there is one character that can breach her, and he's probably going to be used a little bit more because of that. That's the whole reason Krypto's going to be used, and he'll be around. Only reason. The fact that your pylon breaks in 90 seconds, I don't think that's a nerf at all, because you get 3. Like, who cares? As soon as the time's about to run out, put the second one out. Carry 2 ultimate accelerants. Carry 4 ultimate accelerants if you have a purple backpack. You don't need grenades as Watson. She's just so good. Wraith is the best she's ever been. And that's why she's S tier. She's always been S tier. Wraith has always been S tier. And they reworked her to make her a little bit more selfish, even though she's actually not selfish at all. Wraith. What they did to her is they changed her phase. Her phase, instead of like the quick get out of jail free card, is she takes a little bit of a second to. She takes a little over 1 second to go into her phase, where she runs 30% faster and lasts a second longer for 4 seconds. It is so good. You can get the fuck out of there. You can run the fuck through the ring. You can reposition. You can push people with it. You could do so much with it. She moves so fast. And for 4 seconds, she is invulnerable and she is flying across the map. And the startup isn't even affected when you're portaling. So if you're running your portal and you hit your phase, you just get a free invulnerable instant 30% speed boost. Now they did nerf the range to her portal, which I don't like that. I mean, I guess it makes sense because they're really trying to nerf her a little bit. It took 25% of the range off. So, is it the biggest change? Is it really going to affect her usage at all? No, not at all. She's still going to be on every single team. She's still the best character. Portal is so good for repositioning. She's really fun. She's even more fun than she ever was because how fast she can move. Like, I think Wraith is fun now. I didn't actually think she was like that fun of a legend. I was just good with her. That's why I main her. But now she is fun. She pairs well with everybody. She is the reposition character. She is the flank character. She can get people out of there with Portal. You can push onto people with Portal. Ooh. Bless me again. Allergies. She's so good. You know if people can see you. Like, you know if people have like a sniper angle on you or something, if you're like, I don't know, checking out an area. She's just so good. She's so good. Yeah, she's gonna be on every team. I think team comps right now look like Wraith, usually Watson, but at least one defensive character, and then some mix-up. Maybe a second defensive character, maybe one of these two, potentially him. Very, very potentially maybe one of these two. I know Complexity does run the unorthodox Caustic Krypto Bloodhound occasionally. Really just really want to get kills. They gas people with Caustic, Krypto, EMPs, and Bloodhound uses scan and uses things so they can just run in on gas teams and just get easy kills. It's a cool team. It's actually leading to something cool, I think, for the meta of like really interesting team compositions that exceed just Wraith and Watson. But for now, we're still going to see mainly Wraith on every team, Watson pretty much on every team, maybe a couple Caustics in place of him, maybe a couple of Gibbies in place, but still probably like at least, there's going to be at least one, maybe two of these characters on the team. One of these two, there's really not going to be like a Krypto and a Pathfinder because you're going to need a defensive character. And then maybe a Revenant. So yeah, that's the whole team comp. Yes, at least one, and then third can be any of, say these five right here. Definitely a lot more variety though, because it used to just be these three only. And then at best it became these four, these five eventually. But now we've got a sixth character who can peek in the mix, a seventh who can peek in the mix. Maybe not a necessary character on every single team anymore. Two more that can kind of, get into the mix. Potentially Loba. Potentially. Probably not though. So that's gonna be my Legends ranking. I think I'll make the gun list into a separate video because this has gone on for a while. So yeah, that's gonna be my whole spiel on Legends.